crossover of its own, an Irish tune that became a Confederate marching tune. I reckon you think, my pretty little miss, that I can't live without you. The world is wide and I can hide and care a little about you. Throw my knapsack on my back, the rifle on my shoulder. I'll go marching down the camp and list to be a soldier. Great instrument. I invite you to come take a look at it afterwards. Sweet sound, and I'm glad that I have it. So that kind of mountain sound, I've met so many old timers who said to me, you know, if you want to, when you picked up an instrument, it was for dance. Mostly people, when they sang, they just sang. This is sort of a 20th century phenomenon to think that all songs that you sing have to be accompanied. It just wasn't the case. I think Cecil Sharp, who went through the mountains in 1915-17, Southern Mountains, collected 1,600 songs, and like 2 were accompanied. You know, maybe he didn't want accompanied. He was looking for the songs. He didn't care so much about how you accompanied them or fiddle dance tunes and all. He was just looking for the songs themselves. So he may have discouraged people from playing with guitars, and they didn't have guitars then. But the guitars, what an interesting, I didn't even bring my guitar today. You know, because it's such a relative latecomer to folk music. We think of it as an iconic folk music instrument, but in fact, I don't think it was generally around in English-speaking folk music until Sears Roebuck and Montgomery Ward started making them in mass production in the early 20th century, and you could get a cheap one. Most of the old photographs I see of cowboy bands and old-time bands, they have banjos and guitars and banjos and flutes and fiddles, maybe a drum, but they don't have guitars. That's sort of a 20th century phenomenon. So you get this music mixing up, and in 1924-25, the record companies, getting threatened by what was happening with radio, right, we said, we need new audiences. So they started to record black people, rural black people doing music, and urban black people doing their own music, and country music people doing their own music. And so you get this rise of what we now call old-time music, known in the 40s and 50s as hillbilly music, which was white, southern dance band songs. I thought maybe we'd do a couple of those.